Hello, fellow South Africans. So, I want to make two disclaimers in this video. The first disclaimer, if you are a documented, that means you are a legal immigrant. That means you have all the right papers and you are legally in South Africa. This video is not for you. So, please, you can click off this video because it's about to go down. The second disclaimer that I want to make, you guys know that I don't curse. I don't use profanity in my language or vocabulary. However, though, I have mentioned in the past before that whenever I use profanity, it's because I'm emphasizing a point. Sometimes it may come off as me being emotional, but just know that I'm emphasizing a point because I don't believe in profanity because I was told that when you use profanity is because you don't know what to talk about. Other than that, let's get into this video. Guys, I think you already know what I'm about to say here. There was a live that I did. I'm not quite sure when was it. I think it was last week, Thursday. And I made it very clear that Chidima Vanessa Onwe Argentina is not a South African citizen. And boy, did I get it in the comment section by South Africans. South Africans asking me, how do I know? And I kept saying to them, because the father is a Nigerian. Others, how did you know? Because the father is a Nigerian. How do you know? Because the father is a Nigerian. I mean, hello. Haven't you been paying attention all these years while we have Nigerians in this country, especially those that stand in street corners? What do you think they are doing? And don't you think they're the same ones that come and manipulate you and say you are xenophobic when you are actually addressing issues in your community? Your children, your nephews, your sisters, your brothers, some of whom you already buried because of these people called Nigerians in your community, fucking up your communities. That's how I know that Chidima is not a South African citizen, because many South Africans today, listen to their stories right now on TikTok, how their ID documents have been duplicated, and somewhere, somehow, the original owner of the ID number, their fingerprints have been blocked. Blocked by who, do you ask? Nigerians colluding with Home Affairs. Why? Because they got the money to do that.
I couldn't get an ID because that get duplicate to go home my face and
Hi, my name is Yamtanda. I live in Soweto. So I'm facing the same situation as Ayanda. And I found out about this in 2017 when my principal called me to his office asking if am I enrolled in another school. I was still in grade 9 at the time. And I told him, no, I'm not enrolled in any school. And he said to me that in the system it shows that I am enrolled in another school. So we contacted Home Affairs asking what is happening, and they said it's an ID duplication. So what they can do for me is, if when I turn 16, I have to get a smart card, meaning that when I have a smart card and she tries to make a smart card, they will give her a new ID number. Okay, I got my smart card and everything went well until I had to apply for universities. So when I was applying for universities, all universities in South Africa rejected me. All the universities I applied to rejected me. I went to VITS and they told me that they cannot see my marks. So when I apply, they check on the system. They're like, my marks are not appearing. And then we went to Department of Education. So when we went there, they showed me the marks that are on the system, which are not my marks. I was like, no, these are not my marks, because I did get my statement from high school. I got my statement and I was like, this is the statement I got, and these are not my marks, and the exam number is not the Gauteng exam number, and I wrote my exams in Gauteng. And then they were like to me, these are the marks that Uma Lucy certified. So they were like, I should give them some time. They're gonna contact Uma Lucy and ask what is happening. They did contact Uma Lucy, and Uma Lucy said that only one person's statement can be certified, which is hers and not mine. Sorry about that. Yeah, they said it's hers and not mine. And they are also, what can I do for my state, for me, in order for me to get a matric certificate? And they said I need to get a new ID. That's the only way I can get my matric certificate. I went to Home Affairs and I told them what they told me at Department of Education. And they said to me, this is your ID. We can give you confirmation. They gave me the confirmation letter. They verified my fingerprints, which shows it belongs to me. And then And then I went back to Department of Education. I showed them the letters that they gave me at Home Affairs stating that this belongs to me. Still, they're like, no, we cannot certify it. We need you to get a new ID number. So I went back to Home Affairs and I told them, "May I please have a new ID number?" And they were like, you have to email the Minister of Home Affairs stating your situation because we cannot help you. I called head office, and so I called head office telling them that I need a new ID because I need to get my matric certificate to apply for universities. This was after upgrading my marks, because at first I thought I was the one who got like my marks were not adequate enough for me to get into university, and the person I spoke to was rude. Utegumu, what more do you need? Because you do have your smart ID and you do have the confirmation. Why can't they just give you a matric certificate? And then my mom reached out to Human Rights Commission the whole of last year. This lady's been saying, "I'll help you." She's been saying she'll help me, and then eventually someone called me with a private number saying they're from Home Affairs, and my spirit was just like, no, there's no way I'm sharing my information with someone from Home Affairs calling me with a private number. So I did not share anything. I emailed the lady. I was like, someone called me saying that they're from Home Affairs, but they called me using a private number. She was like, yeah, talk to them. But I can't talk to some. Home Affairs has never called me using a private number. So I don't know if it's really Home Affairs. Why are they calling me the private number when they have, like, if phones are MCVs, why are they calling me the private number? Um. So early this year in January, I lost my phone and I had to block my card and all of that. So when I went back, I got a new phone, and then I went back to get to unblock my card, and then they said to me they can give me a temporary card for now, but I wait for my actual card. Then when they were giving me the temporary card, I still had to do fingerprint verification. It did not allow. They're just like, it's not a problem. We'll do it using the OTP. Sorry, and they did it using the OTP. They gave me the card. So now it's time for me to fetch my new card, which was yesterday. I went to the bank in Dobsonville, and when I was verifying using my thumb, they're like, it's not verifying, your fingerprints have been blocked, which basically means I no longer own the ID number. But I do have the smart card. I do have documents confirming that this ID belongs to me from Home Affairs. I don't know how they blocked my ID, my fingerprints, meaning they blocked them and then they created an ID, a smart card for her because she didn't have a smart card. Because before they gave me my confirmation, they've been saying that, yeah, this girl has been trying to get a smart card, but she's not submitting her clinic cards. And I did submit my clinic cards. I submitted information from my primary school, high school, stating that I've been using this, and my birth certificate stating I've been. But still, at Home Affairs, they are not giving me a new ID, because at this point, the only thing I need is a new ID to carry on with my life. And I don't have a matric certificate, meaning I won't graduate. I'm basically non-existent. So if you know anyone who can assist me or who assisted her regarding this ID duplication issue, please do reach out. This is a very serious matter. I basically cannot do anything. Like, I literally cannot do anything because now my fingerprints have been blocked. And I only found out yesterday, on the 16th of February 2024, that my fingerprints are blocked. I no longer own that ID. I don't have an ID now. I will go to my face on Monday and I'll see how that goes. But if you know someone who can help me, please do reach out. I will appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much.
And you know, in South Africa, without an ID book, you are as good as non existent. Life becomes so difficult. Some people even plan or think of offing themselves. That's how cruel and evil these men are. And today, the results came. In fact, they came out last night. The Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Leon Schreiber, came out and said, in fact, I don't know, let's listen to this audio and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it. I know some of you have already heard the audio, but I've got some things to say.
An ongoing investigation by Home Affairs has found prima facie indications of fraud committed by Chidima Adetshina's mother. The Department of Home Affairs herewith provides an update on the ongoing investigation into the citizenship of Ms. Chidima Adetshina, a contestant in the upcoming Miss SA event. The reason for the ongoing nature of the investigation is that its scope has broadened since the original request received from the organisers of Miss SA, based on the information uncovered by Home Affairs investigators thus far. The department nonetheless provides this update to the public based on that official request and consent. We will provide a final update once the investigation is concluded. Upon receiving the request for investigation, the department deployed every resource at its disposal to establish the truth. This has included archival research, visits to hospitals, and site visits to verify information. From the information we have uncovered thus far, the Department of Home Affairs can indicate that prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidima Adetshina's mother. Adetshina herself could not have participated in the alleged unlawful actions of her mother, as she was an infant at the time when the activities took place in 2001. An innocent South African mother, whose identity may have been stolen as part of the alleged fraud, suffered as a result because she could not register her child. The department has broadened its investigation to identify and pursue any officials involved in the alleged scheme and is obtaining legal advice on the implications of the alleged fraudulent activity on Adetshina's citizenship status. And finally, upon the completion of the investigation, Home Affairs intends to press criminal charges and convict all implicated parties. This case, which stems from alleged fraudulent activities committed 23 years ago, highlights the urgent need for the digital modernization of Home Affairs applications, adjudication, and verification processes to insulate the department against fraudulent interference, similar to the reforms undertaken at the South African Revenue Service in the late 2000s. The case also highlights the reason for the department's blocking of certain duplicate IDs, and that the court-ordered unblocking of these documents must be handled with caution. Throughout this process, Home Affairs is guided by our commitment to both restoring and upholding the rule of law as well as the rights of all parties.
Now, let's talk about this woman whose ID document was stolen from her 23 years ago. How do you think her life is today and her children's life today? Because they can't register in the population register as South African citizens. Yet Chidima was with their mother's identity document. And then you come and you ask, how do you know? Because the father of Chidima is Nigerian. You know how they operate. They don't come to South Africa in good faith. They don't come to South Africa to contribute anything. They came to South Africa to leech, to mooch, and take away what belongs to the people of South Africa. And the audacity, knowing fully well how they obtained the identity document that made Chidima a South African, they come and then they spit on our faces, calling us xenophobic, Afrophobic, whatever these words that they use that we don't know what they even mean. I mean, where have you heard this word xenophobia before as a South African citizen? Afrophobia. Sometimes I even think these words are made up just to shut us up. Now, I want to talk about oh gosh, this one makes me even madder. South African celebrities. If you have not unfollowed them right now, since the time you heard that Chidima is not a South African citizen, I think you should. These so-called celebrities never stood with the people of South Africa at the time we need them the most. Fees must fall. Where were they? The only celebrity I remember was AKA, may his soul rest in peace. AKA, we appreciate for everything that you've done for the people of South Africa. Unlike these deadwoods. You know that song in Sarafina? Oh, Safa, Sapeli, Sizo, Simnyama. You know, remember that song? And then the one that really takes it home for me, I don't know how the lyrics go exactly, but it's a I forgot what the name is called. For Somizi, who's been on Sarafina, it is very strange that he's forgotten his patriotism, because that song is about patriotism. It is about unity of a people that are marginalized, people that are being displaced and disrespected. He forgot that. Not so long ago, on June 16, he was singing that song on Metro FM studio. That first song that they sung, that's the one that I'm talking about. He forgotten about that. He turned South Africans into enemies. Uyisitha sezwe. That's who Somizi is. Just boo. You can apologize all the way to the moon for all I care. You are the enemy of the people of South Africa. Your apology is not accepted. I'm always looking out for young people and the success of young people, but at the same time, I'm going to sell them to the foreigners. Unfollow all of them. Unfollow all of them. They are not for South Africans. Let them go to Nollywood. That's where they are going to get the support that they want. If they ever influenced you to buy a certain product, burn the product, make a video and burn it in their presence. The brand is going to get the message loud and clear. If there are television presenters and radio presenters, don't listen to their shows. Don't watch their shows. The less rating they have, that is when their shows get cancelled. They get fired. There is no way that us South Africans are going to lend them our support anymore because they don't stand with the people of South Africa when we need them the most. The best that you could have done, Somizin, Boo, Lerato Khanyago, all of y'all, Pearl Tusi, was to shut the fuck up. If you are asked, you say, no, I'm waiting until the facts have been tabled. You don't come and insult us and tell us to go to school. Have you been to school? Do you understand the whole concept of education if you did go to school? What does school got anything to do with patriotism? You are taking education and putting higher than patriotism. You weird. As a matter of fact, you are sick. You are the enemy of the people. You are the enemy of South Africa's progress. You are so out of touch. Now there's a woman for the past 23 years have been suffering. That's the person you were spitting on the face together with her children. A future that she may have had for her children all fucked up because of people like you. There is no way that we are still supporting and following these people on their social medias, YouTube channels, television stations, and radio stations. There is no way. As a patriotic South African, that is what you are doing right now. Go and unfollow. Go and unsubscribe. Don't listen to their shows. They will get fired. And they will go and learn what is to be a South African citizen. All of them. Every one of them. If it's a YouTuber, unsubscribe to their channel. Teach them that even when your people are wrong, you still stand with them. That's patriotism. You get diluted with words. You are xenophobic. Hi, we need to love each other. These are our brothers. How is it possible then that our so-called brothers, they are able to sell drugs and kill the future of these nephews of theirs and nieces of theirs? Right now, there is a mother or mothers that are busy looking for their children, for their daughters, as young as 13. All because they are kidnapped by these Nigerian kingpins and turning them into prostitutes in Campton Park, in Hillbrow, Yeovil, you name it. And then we must roll over and play dead because we dare say something, we are xenophobic. Television stations or channels of this country, every time they report something like this, they always call South Africans xenophobic. The report is about indoctrinating us with this word so that we even believe that we are xenophobic. It's enough and it comes to an end. Unsubscribe to those news channels until they report correctly about South Africans. This is sickening already. You know, every time I go to bed, I ask myself, tomorrow, what are we going to be hearing about South Africans in the news, on social media? Now, what battle am I going to be fighting for the people of South Africa? Do you know how exhausting that is? Every time we have to explain ourselves. Yeah, what about those white people? What about the Indian people? Listen, South Africa took a path in 1994 of forgiveness, something that you guys know nothing about. And yet you are the most religious people on the continent. How is that even possible? We decided We are going to work together. Yes, you are right. They are rotten apples, racist. Yes, you're right. They have their own piece of land called Orania. If anything, you want to see the rot of some of these people, go to Orania. They're the one who created that poster. Go and say, yeah, these are the most rotten of South Africa's society. That is why we're leaving them, in case you don't know. We are demonstrating to the world that these rotten people, the racists. We are not saying anything. We are quiet. And you all think, oh, we are afraid. We're not afraid of them. We are showing you, because you're so dumb to see that. That is why, yeah, that's why you guys are not going to do anything about Orania. Yes, we're not, because we are demonstrating to the world the rotten people. That's who they are. Rotten people. The evil. And some of them, yes, they are integrated in the South African populace, and they are rotten too, the racist ones. But there are those that are working with us on a daily basis. Yeah, I get it. You will say, but your economy, 70% of it is in the hands of white. True. That is why in this video, I am going to be making a recommendation or a suggestion to the fellow South Africans that let's call a referendum. And in this referendum, fellow South Africans, we must be clear and concise without ambiguity. What do we want for our people and the future of this country? So that we're not going to have a Chirwa in parliament. So that we're not going to have a Chidima running for Miss South Africa. So that we don't have a Mazoni in parliament as well. There is no way we can allow these fellow South Africans. And a referendum is the answer to our problems. I am telling you that right now. And in that referendum, these are the following things that we should be fighting for. A South African woman that wishes to marry her foreign husband or boyfriend, go get married there where he comes from. Become the citizen of his country. We can't have husband makotis in South Africa. It does not work like that. It's not even in the African culture. Where have you seen a husband moving into his wife's home and parents? Where have you heard that? It's unheard of. You want to marry a foreign citizen? Cool, we don't have a problem. But go marry there. It is country. If your children are of a Nigerian or whatever nationality that is non-South African, those children, not South Africans. Apaya. We are sick of this, people. Sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. Even if you married a foreign national and the husband dies, you belong to his people. That's where you belong, not South Africa. And you cannot then, because you were swearing at South Africans, calling us, hey, this and that, back shy, and then you make a video and you're asking help from us with your marriage. South Africans don't get involved themselves in other people's marriages. That is why GBV is so prevalent in this country, because a neighbor can hear their neighbor screaming for help, but they will not do anything. Why? Because it's a marriage, it's a bubble that is supposed to be respected. It's unfortunate that there is a monster that poor woman is married to. And then you want to come and you want to waste our taxpayers' money by asking the president of our country to come and help you. No. You made that bed, lie on it. You chose that life. Why are you now? Haven't you heard about divorce courts before? And the worst part is you got 4 kids by this person. That means in the near future, we are going to have the same battle about these four new outrage that we are going to have, because I can bet my last toe that those children's surname are not South African. I would even doubt that their children's names at all, they are South Africans. Why? Because you sold the country. You sold the country by just opening your legs, and now this man is pounding on you and you want our help. It's not going to happen, CC. Where are your brothers? I know for a fact that if anybody, South African or not, touches my sister, yo combo no chwal, married or not, Touch my mother did not give birth to a punching bag or a human being that will convert into a punching bag. Not my sister. Ow. I'm telling you, we will go there. Touch my sister. I dare anybody to touch my sister. I pants it. So-called South African celebrities, you are not our people. And we cannot support you no more. We cannot support you no more. No amount of apology will make up the damage that you have caused to us. Now we're going to be suffering from PTSD every time we hear the word xenophobia, even if it's meant for other nations, because of you. They know, these foreigners know your power and influence that you have on the South African communities or society. And they were clapping hands for you, thanking you for fighting for them, but not South Africans. So there's no way we can support you. And I encourage every South African who's patriotic to unfollow them. Unfollow them, unsubscribe to them. YouTubers that were spitting on our faces as well, using their platforms to disrespect, call South Africans names, and selling our countries to foreigners, unsubscribe to them. Let them go and learn. No amount of apology is going to make up for what they've done. Being a patriotic, it does not come with an apology. Why are you apologizing? Stand for your stand or stands. You are with foreign nationals, stand with them. We are going to continue fighting for this country and its people that are always, and I mean always, being suppressed by its own people. And they say African love, black on black. Screw that. As long as they are killing our children, our communities, go to Hillbrow, go to Yeovil, go to Campton Park. You as a South African, do you think you can pass there just by driving? Let alone walking in your own country. You can't. You won't. Why? Because you are a threat. And you are a threat that needs to be killed by them. And they've done it so many times. Today, South Africa is ranked number 3 most powerful passport on the continent when we used to be number 1. You know why? Because these men, especially Nigerians, they come and marry Pugi Dupunga, is wool as a South African women. And then dump them. Ask them, where's your husband? Where's your Nigerian husband? Now, let me tell you where he is. He married you, stayed with you for 5 years, and then Home Affairs called him and said, now you are ready to be a South African citizen, got his South African citizen, booked his flights to the US or Canada or wherever they go to, got the South African passport and ID, off they left you hanging nice and dry. They get to the US or Canada or wherever, stay for another 5 years, qualify for naturalization in their country, and once they are naturalized as South African, they take your South African passport and ID, burn it. You, Spugu Pugu, of a woman of South Africa, your life came to a stop. You know why your life has come to a stop? Because you can't sign anything without the signature of your husband. You can't even open a bank account without the signature of your husband. You can't withdraw certain amount of money because there's no signature of your husband. Now you go and bother other people, your brothers, your sisters, your friends. Please, can you sign this for me so I can get this? Where's your life? Where is your life? And you do not listen, you continue to do that. And now you make videos. Hey, my Nigerian husband want to... Full sack. You sold us by opening your legs. And now we must come and help. No, we're not going to do it. You can cry you can cry the Nile River all you want. You chose this. You're an adult. You chose it. Keep us out of it. And the referendum also must talk about the referendum also must talk about CODESA. We need CODESA Part 2. There were some things that were lied to the people of South Africa about in those negotiations in the early 90s, simply because the scales were not equal. You had people who had good education, negotiation skills. The education system was creating geniuses. That is why they were able to lie and manipulate our side of the negotiators. Now that we are all educated, let's call another CODESA. Why are we running away from another CODESA? I agree with General Olomisa. We need to have another CODESA, and this must be enshrined in our referendum, so that we can solve these inequalities and having 70% of other people in ownership of our economy. It is now being used against us every time when we make some kind of noise about our communities to be fixed, and then they will tell us this nonsense. That is what our referendum needs to have. And the issue of citizenship. This so-called right to birthright. That's fucked up nonsense. Birthright my foot. You are now going to come here, try and manipulate us because you found some loopholes. We are closing them through a referendum. The last part of the referendum must speak to every foreign national that was naturalized in South Africa and every foreign national that married a South African citizen. Freeze freeze their identity documents, all of them. As a matter of fact, freeze all IDs from 1994 to date, so that we can sift out all the people that are not South African citizens. Oh, Mr. Schreiber, thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for what you have said. Automate Home Affairs. This is something that I've said in a video before, that if there's a department in our government that needs to remove the human elements, is Home Affairs. And I was so happy to hear Dr. Schreiber says, automate Home Affairs. I agree with you 100%. And when we do that in that automation system, let every South African come with their IDs, run it through that system so that it can tell who's a South African and who's not, but carrying a South African identity document. Even if it means we all have to go to our clinics, our hospitals, where we were born, to retrieve our files, let's do it. I know they're still going to corrupt this system, these Nigerians, because they are good at these things. You put one system in place, they find a loophole, just like our passport. We are in shambles in this country because of them. And I kept asking, and I'm going to ask again, what are Nigerians doing in South Africa? Nigeria is not at war. What are they doing here? And why the police are not doing anything about these ones that are hanging in street corners? What do you think they are doing in those street corners? Why is Hillbrow, Yeoville, Berea, downtown Johannesburg, Kempton Park is a no-go zone area for South Africans? But we have a police force in our own country. Our own country. And so Minzi, Lerato Khanyago, Pearl Tusi, you name DJ Sbu. And now they want to make more fools of us by creating videos. I apologize. Apologize, Fusak. Futak. We see it at DJ Sbu. We see it at Lerato Khanyago. We see it at Pearl Tusi. We see it at Nonke. None of my YouTubers who were busy on us South Africans when we're fighting for our country and fighting for your children. Nizita. No, guys. No. Enough is enough. Any TV station, radio that reports and says xenophobic attacks when we are busy, they were actually saying we were xenophobically attacking Chidima when we were asking questions. Xenophobic attack on Chidima. Aibo. This is coming from our own media. The South African media does not like South Africans, I've noticed. They hate us. Right now, they are on a campaign on Gayton Mackenzie, the only politician that I know and every South African know that is fighting for the people of South Africa, and he's steadfast about it. Say whatever you want. This is a man who stood and said, I'm going to put my head on a chopping block. If this Chidima is not a South African, I'm going to apologize to her in public. What politician has done that? What politician has stood with us? Sometimes I even say to myself, something shamans with our political leaders that are busy selling us to foreign nationals are themselves South Africans. We already have one, Chirwa. Chirwa is not a South African surname. Inside in our belly, Trojan horse, spitting on the people that have given her an opportunity to be somebody, simply because she speaks good English. We cannot allow this. You are a foreigner. You may be born here and you are Chirwa, you are still a foreigner. Once a Malawian, always a Malawian. Whether you are born of somebody and you were born of them, and you as a child, you were born in South Africa, you are Malawian. You are a Malawian. You can't be a South African. So just because that political party is against the people of South Africa, that is why you are there. That is why you are there. Enough, guys. You know, can South Africans wake up one morning in peace and go throughout the day in peace? Just give us a break, for heaven's sake. Gaslighting us, manipulating us, doing all these narcissistic things where you turn us as if we're the wrong ones when we are trying to address things. Screw you. No more. No more. In conclusion of this video, fellow South Africans, go and unfollow every one of these people that stood against the people of South Africa. How do you know? The father is Nigerian. Where have you seen a Nigerian do something in Ngendlela? Where? In South Africa. Where? The moment you hear Nigeria is involved inside, you must know that thing legit about it. Nothing. Nothing. They are the ones who have accustomed us into thinking like this. They are good Nigerians. I am telling you, very good. I'm telling you, the guy my barber is a Nigerian. Very good guy. He cuts hair, and you know what? How else he makes his money? By betting. He does this betting, like soccer betting and what. Sometimes he wins and he will share with me how much he won. And it's thousands of rands. He will tell you, my goodness, my family this year, they are able to rent for the entire year and eat for the next 6 months because he won 100,000, 150,000 or something. And he continues to shave hair. Ever since I've been there, I've never seen anybody come and he would leave anybody's hair to go address somebody because he's selling something on the side. Never. They are good Nigerians, and unfortunately, they are a drop in the bucket. The rest, criminals. Criminals. The audacity to call us xenophobic. Anyways, I've heard many South Africans, myself included, where now we are embracing this word because it means absolutely nothing. And now they threw in the mix Afrophobia. Afrophobia. You are selling and killing our children, and we are Afrophobic. Kidnapping our children, turning them into prostitutes. We are Afrophobic. Running down our streets, our passports is almost... This one even drives me mad. Have you ever traveled outside of South Africa before? And then you produce your South African passport. No questions asked. There's a smile on these people's faces when they see this is a South African. And they let you through. And then in the hotel when they see you, the beam on these people's faces when they see South Africans. Sooner or later, every time you produce a South African passport in any customs, you're going to be pulled aside. You're going to be interrogated. Because these people are devaluing our passport. We are now number 3, and we're going to be number 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to keep dropping. Now we are sitting at 105 or so countries where we enter visa free. Do you think this is going to last long? It's not. Because Somizi, Lerato Khanyago, Pearl Tusi, DJ Sbu are saying that is all good. You guys come. Malema at one point even told Zimbabweans, find a creative way to come to South Africa. I was like, hey, wow. Talk about Unyelwa. Nispuzi Nyongo. No, this is not right. This is not right, fellow South Africans. And I apologize for profanity, but I'm just emphasizing here that how sick and tired I am. And I know I'm not the only one. Again, if you are documented foreign national, this video is not for you. It's not about you. You are right, and I like that. The moment you see your papers about to expire, go fix them 4 months before they expire so that you can come back and continue working. Continue contributing into the South African economy. We see you. But it's unfortunate that you are overpowered by criminal citizens of your own country. This is not for you. Anyways, guys, I know I got more to say. This Chidima issue is, I still say, it's a storm in a teacup. There's something bigger coming. If you think that Chidima, hey, Nigerians, heartless people, evil to the core. There are South Africans that are suffering because of them today. You know, there was a time where I was so paranoid. I would check there was this number that Home Affairs used to, I don't know if it still works. I used to check my marital status because these days a man can marry another man. Since 2006. I check my marital status. I check if my ID is still my ID and there's no duplications. Recently, I went to Home Affairs to renew my passport. And then I was like, this is also another way of checking if I'm still me. I'm not going to be told you need to get your husband to sign here. That is the life that we are living in South Africa, and it's unfair. It's unfair. This is not how we're supposed to live. The people that died for this country, this is not what they had in mind. You are leeches. You are parasites. You are users. You are not brothers. You are not sisters either. See, when I won't try. Stop going and taking these young men who are going to later take you to some room where the answers. What is what people say? Hey, kota kosiame ni pupuk. Ni ziwula. And they know it. South Africa is sold in so many different ways. And then you want us to feel sorry for you. Njani. You're hearing a voice. What was Zwapu Tenege? Idlozi. Likuluma 99 like this, you can hear them. Hambio resign. Take your pension. Ubuye nemali si tandazel. Hey, vuke maqandeni slim. And it's okay. We're xenophobic when we talk about these things. Stop it, guys. Just stop it. But South Africans, let's fight for this country. Let's not relent. Don't listen to any celebrity trying to manipulate you. Take your voice away from you. Don't. Referendum. Let's all call for a referendum. Let the GNU organize a date for a referendum. And these are the things that we must put on the referendum, and they must be clear, concise, and unambiguous. abahambe